we are identifying the transformation. So this is my function. I need to figure out how is it different compared to the parent. The parent is y equals square root of x. All right, so what do we have in front? What would a be? 1/2. Anybody remember from yesterday what that does to our graph? What changes does it make? Compress, good. Your h value is always under and opposite. So remember, h, so a is in front, h is under and opposite. So you go under the hood and you flip the sign. So it's not a +3, it is a -3. And what will that do? Does it move it left 3, right 3, up 3, or down 3? Left 3, good job. And then K is in the back. That's in the back. Back of the house. It's in the backyard. K is a 5. Because K is 5, what will that do? Up 5. Good job. Okay, so we're going to graph today. We're going to do a few graphs together, and then we are going to continue working on our homework. Homework is due Friday, but if you're working on it every single day, you should be able to turn it in Thursday. Sometimes I give extra credit when it's turned in the day before, okay? So that's the goal. Get your homework in. Don't miss a homework. Homework means a lot. All right, so let's go to example 3. We're skipping example 2. You can cross out example 2. We're going to example 3. And now we're graphing. So graph the parent. This is the parent. These are the order pairs for the parent for a square root. So let's go ahead and graph those values. I'm going to actually do red. So I'm going to graph this in red. So the order pairs are for the parent, and this never changes. 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 9, 3. You will always be asked to graph the parent first. That's the parent. So let's go ahead and graph that. Now, what's different about about a square root is that it has a start, but it does not have an end. All right, 1 point doesn't have 2 arrows, it's just 1 arrow. This is what a square root function looks like. So now what we're going to do is look at this function here and identify the transformations. We're going to graph this. We're going to start off by identifying AH and K, and then we're going to state the transformations. So in this function, what is the number in front? When you don't see a number for A, that means A is what? 1. Good. Let's go ahead and put that down. H is under and opposite. So it's not -2, it is +2. Good. And because it's +2, that's going to make the graph do what? Go up, go right, go right. All right, K is in the back. That's a 3. What is that going to make our graph do? Up 3. All right, so this is how you apply transformations, okay? So we have our parent table down here. Whenever you do transformations, it doesn't matter what kind of graph it is. It's always H plus X and Y times A plus K. So H is 2. So what I want you to do is add 2 all the way down. Let's start off by doing that. Hopefully we're not using a calculator for 2 plus 0, but if you are, I'm not judging you out loud. So then there's a 2. Then you have 2 plus 1, 2 plus 4, and 2 plus 9. Okay, so that's my new x values. Now for the y values, that's where we use a and k. So we're multiplying all of these numbers by 1 and adding k. Now, whenever a is 1, you really don't need to put that in the calculator. You really just need to add 3. So you're doing 0 plus 3, 1 plus 3, 2 plus 3, and 3 plus 3. Okay. Now, the 11 doesn't quite fit. This doesn't fit, so I'm going to have to bootleg it a little bit. But let's go ahead and graph this set of order points, this set of order pairs. So I'm going to go ahead and graph those. So we're going to put a point at 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, 5, and 11, 6. So 2 up 3. Oops. 2 up 3. 3 up 4. 6 up 5. And then 11 is not quite on the grid, so I'm going to put it like off to the edge. Okay, so this is what my graph looks like. And when you compare the purple graph to the red graph, do you agree that it moved right 2 and up 3? That's the transformations. That's what happened. All right, when you're stating your domain, we're going to look at our chart, our new chart. So looking at these numbers right here, what's the first number at the top of our table? My first x value is what? 2. Now, are the numbers getting bigger or smaller? So we go 2, 3, 6, 11. Do we all agree the numbers are getting bigger? So that means my domain is 2 to infinity. My y values, the first y value is 3. And it gets bigger, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means my range is 3 to infinity. And that is that. I think the domain and range might be the hardest part. So we're only going to do a few more together, and then we're going to start work on homework together. So let's go ahead and go to example 4 on the next page. And again, I'm going to start off by graphing my parent. 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, and 9, 3. I'm going to start with that. All right. After you graph the parent, let's look at our new function. What is the number in front? I'm looking at this one here. A is 2. Good. Because A is 2, does anybody remember what that does to our graph? Stretches. H is under the hood and you flip the sign. So it's not a positive 3, it's a negative 3, which is going to move our graph left 3. There is nothing in the back. Nothing in the back. So if you don't see a K value, that means it's 0. So this graph does not go up or down. It's only stretching and moving to the left. All right, so we're going to take that H value right here. I'm going to add it to all of my X values. So go ahead and do that. So you got negative 3 plus 0, negative 3 plus 1, negative 3 plus 4. Now, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, you're going to look at all of your, take your Y values, and we're multiplying. We use these two values, these two. Okay, those two change Y. But whenever it's a 0, we don't really add 0, right? We're really just multiplying this column by 2. I'm going to put the plus 0, but please do not use your calculator to add 0. So you're really just multiplying all of your Y values by 2. So 0 times 2, 1 times 2, 2 times 2, and 3 times 2. All right, go ahead and plot these 4 points. So we got a point at negative 3, 0, a point at negative 2, up 2, a point at 1, up 4, and a point at 6, up 6. Okay, so my domain starts with these are the numbers for my domain. So my X values start at 3 and then they're getting bigger because negative 3, negative 2, 1, I need to put my number line back up, but it's getting bigger. So my domain is negative 3 to infinity. Now my range, those numbers, my Y values, begin at 0, and then they're going up. So that means that my Y values are 0 to infinity. Any questions? How we feeling? Thumbs up, sideways, thumb down. I'm just trying to see where we at. Okay, got a couple more. Let's go ahead and go to example 5. And again, we're going to start off by graphing the parent. 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 9, 3. Okay, so let's look at this one here. Now we have a minus in front. So A is -1, and what is that going to make our eyebrow do? Reflect. You could say reflect, you could also say flip. Now, if we look at my roof, there isn't anything under the roof except X. X is in the house by itself, right? What does that mean? What is H? Not 1, 0. So it's kind of tricky. If you don't see an A value, it's 1. But if you don't see a number for H or K, it's 0. Now the number in the back, that's -6, which is going to make it go down 6. So H is 0. And remember, H changes X. So there is no change to X. Because if you add 0 all the way down, that doesn't do anything. So my X values are still 0, 1, 4, 9. And because my X values are still 0, 1, 4, 9, I can fill in my domain too. That means I'm starting at 0 and it's getting bigger. Now, let's look at my A and K. That is going to change my Y values. So what you need to do, pick up your calculators. There should be a calculator on your desk. Multiply these numbers by -1, and then you're adding -6 all the way down. So go ahead, take a moment and get your 4 Y values. All right, go ahead and graph your, and this one should be upside down because it reflected. So 0 down 6, 1. See how my Y values are getting smaller now. This eyebrow is going down. Whenever that happens, you have to flip the range too. So if your A reflects, your range will flip. So your range becomes -infinity. This is the rule. It's -infinity to K. Whatever your K value is. That is how you're going to write your range if A is negative. Only if A is negative. That's how you write it. So my range is going to be -infinity. And then what was K again? to -6, put a bracket. This is only when A is negative. When A is negative. Okay, one more, and then we are done. Let's go ahead and do question 6. Example 6, let's graph our parent. All right, so now the number in front is 0.5, and what is that going to make our graph do? Compress. Good job. Under the hood in the house, we have a -4, which means it is a +4. That's going to make our new graph go right. And in the backyard, we have a -2, which is going to make it go down. So let's go ahead and remember this number changes X. So I'm going to take that 4 and I'm adding it all the way down. So you got 4 plus 0, 4 plus 1, 4 plus 4, 4 plus 9. All right, so that would be a 4, 5, 8, 13. All right, so now we're going to take our Y values. These two, they affect Y. So we're multiplying by 1/2 or 0.5. And then we're adding a -2 all the way down. So go ahead, take a moment and do that. And when we have a decimal, we just do the best we can to graph our decimals. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph our new function. Okay, so we got 4 down 2, and then 5 up 1.5, only goes up a tiny bit, and then 8, we're at -1, and the last one doesn't fit, so we're not gonna worry about that one. So we can kind of look at it. It's going up, but it's flatter. that purple graph is flatter than the red graph. Now, A is not negative, so our domain is going to be h to infinity, because that's the rule, and our range will be k to infinity. So h is positive 4, k is negative 2. All right, let's take out our homework. I want to do number 4 together. And then you'll have the rest of the class to work. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I just want to get you started. So go ahead, take out homework. If anyone needs a binder, I recommend a binder to keep all your notes organized. I do have some extra binders if anybody would like a binder at the end of class. Okay, so homework. Homework again. Oh, yeah, we're skipping number 7. Cross that one out. Homework is due Friday. But if you're working on it every day, you should be finished with it tomorrow and be able to turn it in early. And sometimes I give extra credit when it's turned in early. Sometimes, okay? So we're on number 3. Sorry, not number 3. We're on number 4. So the first thing it asks us to do is graph the parent. So that's 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 9, 3. That's what we've been doing. So let's go ahead and do it again right here. So we haven't talked about the domain and range for the parent, but the domain and range, well, we did talk about it, but we talked about it yesterday. The domain and range for the parent, because they both start at 0 and get bigger, the domain and range is 0 to infinity. So my domain and range for the parent is 0 to infinity. All right, now let's look at question C. A, when you don't see an A value, that means that it is 1. H, the number under the hood, is 5, so we have to flip it. It becomes a negative 5. The K, number in the backyard, is a positive 3. So H equaling negative 5 is going to move the graph left 5. So we're going to write the transformations in this little box. And it's also going to move up 3. So with your calculators, remember this negative 5 affects H. So you're going to add negative 5 all the way down. And then A and K affect Y. Whenever A is 1, I don't normally include it. You really just need to add 3 all the way down. So go ahead and do that. State your domain and range, and you're finished with number 4. So my recommendations is you can do numbers 4, 5, and 6. The only thing you cannot do yet is 7. Okay, because that's a cube root, and we're not talking about that yet. So use today to make sure that tomorrow you have all your homework done up to number 6. And then we can finish it out at the end of class, and you can turn it in. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you.